is track speed.
Got to talk about the Texas DPS trooper, man, involved in confrontation with the South Carolina players, man. And everybody is still talking about this thing. Stephen A., LeBron James, Ryan Clark, and plenty of other people chimed in on this topic, man. So here's the viral clip that everybody is talking about. As you guys can see, the trooper walks up to the players and he just like, and he's looking for a confrontation. And they even have another video slowing down. And you can see the players, they were trying to get out of his way, but the guy was looking for a confrontation. Even a criminal defense attorney said the same thing.
I mean, there's nothing I could ever think in my mind that he would have a valid reason to do that. He is trying to start something. He went to them trying to start something, probably, hopefully, in his mind that, well, maybe I can get a reaction out of them, and then I can arrest them or do whatever. I don't know. But it's horrible, and it's humiliating for A&M to even have this be involved with their name. It really is.
So that's why even people like LeBron James even chimed in on the topic and said that the A&M cop needs to be suspended. That was premeditated and corny as he went out of his way to start some shit. Do better, man. So that's what LeBron James had to say, man. So let me show you guys these video clips that I do have for you guys about the topic. And be sure to hit that thumbs up button. That really does help these videos get pushed out to the algorithm. And I really do appreciate that, guys.
What happened at the Texas A&M South Carolina football game is unacceptable for an officer who is there to protect everyone in the stadium to walk toward those young players with that level of aggression, that level of intention, that level of purpose, and that purpose being nothing for good is something that just can't happen. And now, if you are these young men's parents, this is worst case scenario for you. This is something you've coached your kids through. You've told them how to behave. You told them what to say. You've told them how to look. And you've told them all of these things just to stay alive. And so now in this situation, someone who is in that stadium to protect them is the aggressor. And here's my biggest problem with the whole thing. There was 100,000 people in the stands. There were 2 entire football teams on the field, and there were millions of people watching on TV. So what kind of decisions does this officer make when no one is watching, when there are no immediate consequences? And thank God that Texas A&M acted extremely quickly to at least try to rectify the situation so everyone on that football field and in those stands could feel safe. But this is a cautionary tale. This is a warning. There are those people that feel so entitled and so empowered and have that level of audacity and also intoxication on power that they believe that they're above the law. It's not just about protecting those young men on the field, which is something we have to do. It's about protecting those young people in these streets, in these schools, that just walk around in everyday life from those who don't understand the power of the badge and the responsibility of it. Thank God today worked out the way it did and we got a great SEC battle. But not every young man is so lucky.
Oh my God, even if you're not a sports fan, you have to watch this. This South Carolina football player, he just scored a touchdown and he's injured limping into the tunnel. It's a gigantic game against the #3 team in the nation, Texas A&M, and South Carolina takes a lead. But as he's walking out of the tunnel, this Texas A&M state trooper bumps the dude and then tries to fight the South Carolina receiver. Take a look at it in slow motion. The A&M cop bumps the South Carolina football player, and then he turns around and tries to incite a riot. Thankfully, Texas A&M dismissed the cop, and I ain't got to deal with it, but wow.
This is a no-brainer to me. Nick Harper from South Carolina catches a pass, scampers down the field for a damn long touchdown run, runs into the tunnel because he's holding his hamstring, and then his teammates come to help him because they know that something must be wrong because he kept going in there and he's holding his hamstring. He comes back out. You can see the officer at the stadium walking in between 2 players and literally bumps into both of them and flexes his arms out before turning around and telling them to get on out of here and all of this other stuff. We saw it. It's clear as day. It's an automatic suspension. The man shouldn't be allowed to work the game again. What you doing messing with a player like that for? Wasn't somebody in street clothes that you didn't know was a player. You knew exactly who it was. You knew it was a player for South Carolina. You knew that, and you did it anyway. There's nothing to think about here. There's no argument. There's no excuse on the part of the behavior of the officer. He shouldn't even be allowed to cover the games anymore, and definitely should be suspended.
Yo, this man ought to be ashamed of himself. This Texas A&M State trooper just walked straight into Nick Harbor, South Carolina Gamecock wide receiver, after he caught an 80-yard touchdown pass. Check it out. Harbor's walking up the ramp because he's like, man, I just scored an 80-yard touchdown. And it looked like he might have hurt his hamstring. And as he's walking back, the state trooper says, you know what? You just scored a touchdown on my team. Man, you know what? You just messed up my parlay. And he walks dead smack into him on purpose and gives him a forearm shiver. Now, I know these college players are getting paid nowadays, and I understand that they're making buku money. A lot, millions, some of them. Hundreds of thousands, others, and multiple thousands for most. But that doesn't mean that just because they score on your team, that you have the right to walk through them and basically physically assault them on the field. Now, the players handled it the right way, look back, say, yeah, man, what is you on? What's going on here? But that state trooper should be ashamed of himself. So far as to say, when he watches that back, he needs to put out a public apology. And if he won't put out a public apology, then he probably needs to be suspended, because you're a grown man. And as a grown man, you're not supposed to be treating young men in that manner. You're supposed to be showing them the right example. So what he should have done in that moment was stepped aside, let those guys walk back down the tunnel so they could get back to the game that they were playing. Not take out any personal vendettas against them because you're upset that they just scored on your team. It always sucks when the adults start acting like children, but those South Carolina Gamecock players did the right thing and walked away.
Hi, can you tell me if the game's still on? Everyone wants to know what happened at the game and whatnot. With me and those two hooligans who almost jumped me in broad daylight. Everyone say it's my fault this. Well, tough tits. I tell you that much. Tough tits. You want to put your hands on me like a grown man? I'm going to treat you like a grown man, son. Don't you ever And that's the problem with these young jigaboos today. They got their NILs and all this and TikTok that and TikTok this. You need to teach these sons of bitches some manners. Tough tits. Shabuya. Son.